Hey, how you doing? What's going, Rick? Partying. Nice day today. Hey, Caroline. I just dropped her off 5 minutes ago. I think she's worn out, tired. She about 4:30 this morning. She started howling. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Hey, yeah, it's a rough day for her, it's for sure. I'm just partying now. It's taking my day. I had a busy day today, so I drove all the way out here. Hey, how you doing today? It's like 90 miles or something like that. It's no big deal. I'd have probably been driving this far anyway. Hey, Blue. This way, on my way here, Google says you want a better route, so I clicked yes. I mean, I'm not sure it was a better route. I don't want to drive. I must have taken 50 turns, cutting through Augusta and then heading east. I just don't feel like doing that. So even though this may be a little longer, I want to get up to this loop and head over to 20. I don't want to be messing around with this 14,000 turns. Hey, nobody won the Powerball. Buy a Powerball. I won $8 on one of my tickets. Going big time. I'm tired. I stayed up late on that chat last night. The night before I was short on sleep, so I think I'll just make my way up to this connector to Aiken. Look for, of course, a place to eat, then party back home. Go to bed for a little bit. Unless I see something really interesting, But I'm kind of tired. This cold I was almost over, and it seems like it's getting a little worse. Oh, that girl was talking about Chili's last night. There's a Chili's right down the road. No wonder she likes it. Convenient. Said they have good quesadilla. There's a Longhorn Steakhouse. Red Lobster. I'd like to find a good sushi place. I'm getting sick of barbecue. Outback, Cracker Barrel, IHOP, Chick-fil-A. I'm not big on that Chick-fil-A. Here's a Krispy Kreme donut. I had to go in there and get one of those. See if the light's on. You know, if the light's not on, those donuts aren't worth a shit, if you ask me. It's just like a glazed donut anywhere. There's this cop. What are you doing, cop? Cop at a donut shop? Am I going the wrong way or something? What a shocker. Why I got those lights on there? Yeah, I don't think if that light's... Where's that light that's supposed to be on? Yeah, they're great. If they're in the case though, like anywhere else. I think I at least get one though. Yeah, I didn't see that. I'll go in and check it out real quick. This party. I'm a little tired. These girls working in there are so sweet, it's ridiculous. So I go in there, she explains the whole hot donut thing. Those only get made from like 6 to 10. Then they start again at 5:30 and something. So I thought, well, I'll get one anyway. So I get a large coffee and a donut. She said, it's free. I said, free? Why? She said, well, you seem like a nice guy. I said, well, it depends on who you ask. I said, are you sure you're not going to get in trouble? She said, no, I'm not getting in trouble. It's free. I gave him a tip, but they sure were nice. They said when that light comes on, it goes from no busy to swamped. Their sales go through the roof when the light's on. Wasn't that sweet of her? I'd bring you some. I'd get you some. They're not hot though. I'll give you some. They're not hot though. Really nice girls though. Just partying with them. I don't really need a donut, but thought I'd party. Gas, same price here, $3.29. Got a coffee. Not really hungry now. Oh, are they? That's a good idea. Yeah, probably right there. Like I said, it's just a glazed donut when you eat them like this. She said when that light goes on, people go from buying one and a coffee to a dozen. She said lots of people sit down, eat the whole dozen when they're hot. Now, remember I told you, like, I traveled around a lot my whole life. And there's certain indicators of a town. And when you have a Krispy Kreme, a Starbucks, a Longhorn Steakhouse, a California Pizza Kitchen, the big one is, though, a Barnes & Noble, you're in a pretty good place. Because they spend so much money on research and where they decide to locate that it's a pretty good community with a lot of amenities when they have those places. But I'm telling you, this Southern hospitality is real. It's unbelievable. Everywhere I go, it's worth it just to live down here for that. Daisy's trying to bury her little bit of her donut. Why are you burying your donut, hon? Just eat it. Can you just eat it, honey? Can't you just eat it? Yeah, I agree, don't ask. Yeah, they do. She does sometimes when she's trying to bury it. She took out all the, I was getting panicky last night because the dollar store was closed, and that dog loved those chicken wrap chewy treats. And, so I was loading up before they closed because I needed food to keep putting it in there if that dog wasn't triggering the trap. Well, anyway, I had a bunch of extras. The dog wasn't eating them because she was upset. So I had that open bag of those chewies on the floor. And when I was in there messing around with the dog, loading it up this morning, Daisy went and pulled out all of them and ate the chicken wrapper off all of them. They're just bare chewies now. Eat it, honey. Eat it with your mouth. Now she's got the donut in her mouth, but she's not chewing it. You gonna eat it, honey? You wanna eat it? You wanna bury it? Okay. She'll be 9 this spring. 9, I think. Maybe 8. 8 or 9.
Yeah, I didn't ask. That girl told me, she told me, I mean, everybody's got like, you got certain things of your personality. I mean, you know what you're like, especially by this stage of the game. And I can turn it on and turn it off, man. I do it. And there's certain instances where, like we talked about that last night on the chat. Uh, when I think something's gonna like be bothering me or there's strings attached, and I don't want to. I know how it is because I was on the Humane Society board and I've done volunteer work with animals in the past. It's a pain in the ass. It wasn't like you thought. You got to kiss the ass of these people that are donating. I mean, no kills not is just a nightmare. Before you know it, you have a petting zoo and old animals no one wants to adopt. That's there's reality, and then there's this fantasy on how you'd like to have a shelter run. And a lot of these no kill places, you're constantly rotating dogs, and that's how you're able to advertise in good faith no kill. And you're switching them from here to there, and I don't think this place is doing it. And all of a sudden, the dogs in Georgia are going to New Jersey, and the ones in Ohio are going to Montana. You know, just this last year, you've seen 2 plane crashes loaded with stray dogs. And you think, God, how can somebody afford to charter a beach 1900 full of stray dogs? Well, that's part of that shuffling around that you do with numbers. I don't think this place does it. I don't know if they do or not, but my point is, she said, well, she is so used to like dealing with people. People give $100 and they think they own you. And I did donate money to this place. I donated money to them personally, and I'm going to donate money to the lady when I get back in Crawfordville. I don't want any deductions, receipts, none of that bullshit. But like, I just gave her a donation this morning, and she said, well, I'm going to, keep you updated and let you know. I said, hey, I'm going to tell you right now, I appreciate it, but this is the end of the road with me. Good luck with the dog. You don't need to send me any updates, text, nothing. I wish the best for him, because I don't want to burden somebody because they're so used to, you know, having to appease these people, these animal lovers who can be really kooks. You don't need to do anything with me. I said, as a matter of fact, don't text me, don't call me. I wish the best. And that, and if I was in her shoes, it would be a relief to me. It's like, finally, because that's the kind of hoops you have to jump through when you're dealing with this kind of stuff. It's not just being a good person and doing a good thing for an animal. It's all this bullshit you got to go through. And I don't want to make people go through that. I've been there, you know? Yeah, places do it. But here's the deal. In this day and age, here's exactly what happens in a nutshell. So you love animals, you had dogs, cats, whatever, you loved them. I get that, right? Everybody does. And, you see these dogs out running around wild, and you're thinking how it was when you owned a pet, and you just think it's sad. It is. Humans created this problem. So you decide, out of ignorance, and I'm not saying it's any bad intentions, that you want to be affiliated and support a facility that's no kill. Let me tell you, no kill's a pipe dream in the real world. I learned that the hard way. Because here's what happens. You open up a place. I guess I'm not the right personality for this. If you could just send me to a place and I could take care of dogs and I wouldn't need to interact with the people, I'd probably be great at it. But it's the people that I can't stand. Once someone gives you a grand, oh my God. So here's what happens. You have a shelter. You got all these people that don't really understand the ins and outs of running a shelter, and they say, well, I'd be willing to support you, but it's no kill. Once you agree to that, in my opinion, it's over in a lot of ways, unless you want to do the shuffling game with dogs. So here's what happens. All of a sudden, I'm the same way. I mean, luckily I can just afford it. If I found a dog that was going to live 6 months, I would spring for the surgery and try and give him as good of a life as I could. I would just do it. That's the end of it. I don't want any donation. So here's what happens. You find these dogs, and everybody loves them, and all of a sudden you get an estimate. It's $5,800 to get his disc removed or spinal fusion or something like that. Then you get him back, and here's what happens. People come in, people want kittens. They don't want adult cats. They see these old dogs, and they've had surgeries. And what ends up happening, everybody loves them. Everybody wants to buy them a bag of bones at Christmas, but nobody wants to adopt them. People want young, attractive puppies. It's the same with people. Do you see dating sites where it's just a bunch of fat, ugly, old women 200 pounds overweight? No. Same shit. Works with animals the same way. Everybody thinks it's great, they love them, but they don't adopt them. So before you know it, if you keep up that philosophy, you've got 50 stages, and 40 of them are filled with old cats and dogs that nobody wants to adopt. That's not how a humane society works. You're putting all your money into things that are never going to be adopted out. You're refusing other dogs because you don't have space. And that ends up with when you have a giant petting zoo that really isn't doing its goal of managing animals. It boils down to this, and you can look this up. It's called the herd mentality. That you take the money and you invest it in young adoptable pets. It's cruel as hell. I get it. In a way, I think animals have an advantage over humans because if you're an old, good job, hon. If you're an old dog that no one's going to adopt and you're in pain, you can euthanize them. And I'm not saying that's the worst thing to do, but in certain circumstances, I understand why it happens because you got these big facilities and you just constantly got a big population of old, unadoptable pets. That's not how to run a humane society. It's just not possible. You know, you got all these people coming in there that thinking they own you, giving these donations, especially with the cats. Oh my God, they'll drive you nuts too. I mean, I like all this stuff, but the reality of it is, you know, it's like, I'll tell you, Medicare does the same thing. Medicaid too. There's a certain point where you're not going to get some of this surgery because the government doesn't want to spend that kind of money on a person that isn't going to live longer than 5 or 10 years. It's just a fact. Yeah, I mean, it is, but it's just one of these absolute, you know, realities. You know, it's different, but it's kind of related. I'll have guys I know, and they have pretty daughters, and they say, boy, I'm going to keep an eye on her. Anybody that has to date my daughter, they're going to have to go through me. It's like, John, it's not my business, but you're lucky you have an attractive daughter. And the reason for that's how this whole thing works. That's how we all got here. And she's going to live a life, hopefully, and she's going to meet a guy, and they're going to have kids and all these things that you want, and grandchildren, all that kind of stuff. And if she wasn't attractive, you may end up having her live with you. She'll be an old maid. She won't date. Men aren't attracted to her, and she just kind of becomes a kid that never leaves the house. So, I mean, you know, you can't have it both ways. You know, take your pick. Yeah, that's true. They get rid of pets because they're old. Now, you know, personally, me, I'm lucky enough to where I don't mind paying for that. You know, people have vices, and, you know, I guess I wouldn't call it a vice, but if I know of a situation like that, I just go ahead and pay for it. And if the dog lives 6 months, great. If it lives 8 months, that's okay too, but I'm gonna do it. You know, you can't take it with you. It's not like I'm a young guy with kids and a wife and missing my house payments because I'm paying for dog surgery. So, you know, I'm in a pretty good position compared to most people. But yeah, people, the rent goes up. Like look at Rachel. Same shit. She had to pay like $3,300 more extra a year because of a pet and a rental thing. Not everybody can afford that. Yeah. You know, and you just see like that place where this dog was caught and these puppies were, that's the tip of the iceberg. What I'm thinking about doing is just buying a new van and buying a couple of those traps and just trapping these dogs and taking them to places like this when somebody needs it. Just drop them off. Just do everything myself. I think it's kind of fun trapping these dogs, actually. And I can tell you this, my experience so far and everything that I know up until now, that's as good as it gets, this place where I just dropped that dog off. Good girl, hon. Good girl. Watch the van. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's with I mean, it's just, you learn a lot about people, how they treat animals. I mean, I quit hunting because of this, and I quit fishing because of this, and I still have conscience attacks on eating meat. We just went through this the other day. There's a couple guys that own a couple 100-acre tracts where I live, and they're big time hunters. I mean, that's all these guys talk about is antler size. I just can't, like, hang around with them. Antler size, and they let these things get bigger, and they don't shoot them until then. It just turns me off so much. But anyway, the conversation came up about a week and a half ago about, shooting all the armadillos, shooting all the possums, shooting all the raccoons, because they eat the turkey eggs. They like to shoot turkeys. Just nuts to me. They like, anything that's a non-game animal, they just want to extinguish. And to me, I don't think that's right. I'm not doing it. I mean, if they eat turkey eggs and stuff, that's part of the whole cycle of nature. We got armadillos running around. I mean, they're kind of a pain in the ass, and I'm not a religious guy, but, you couldn't create an armadillo if you wanted to, no matter how much money you had. They're here. I'm not sure how they got here, why they're here, but I don't think it's up to me or anybody else to just start shooting them because you're afraid they eat too many turkey eggs. I'll give you an example. So yesterday and the day before, as I leave, I got about 2 miles of dirt road before I get on the concrete. I see a flock of about 40 turkeys, and they're all kind of like skinny, probably young turkeys. And they're sitting along the side of the road. When they see me, they get up and they run. And, it was raining like a son of a bitch, and flooding kind of, and there's nothing to eat. It's spring hasn't really sprung here, and water's all over. I mean, what the hell is a damn turkey going to eat? So I went and bought a 50-pound bag of chicken mix yesterday. It's different than just like crack corn. It's got all the stuff in that birds eat. And I went and where I saw those turkeys and spread it out on the road, that dirt road. And they're not going to get run over eating in the road. You're going pretty slow there because it's so bumpy. So anyway, last night when I was out there messing with that dog, Marty called me. He's a big animal lover too. He said, "Hey, you didn't dump a bunch of corn out on the road, did you?" I said, "Yeah, as a matter of fact, I did." He said, "I figured that was you." He said, "Why?" I said, "Well, I saw these turkeys there. They look skinny to me, and they were there, and I saw them 2 days in a row, and I just thought I'd buy them a big bag of food." He said, "Oh, that's really cool, man." He said, "Yeah." He said, "That was nice of you." So this morning, he had a meeting in Union Point, and I got up earlier than I normally do to take this dog. And he called me and said, "Hey, you're not going to believe it, but those turkeys are out there eating the hell out of that food." And that's exactly what I wanted to hear. And usually when you do stuff like that, I mean, I know other things are going to eat it too, but I don't know why I think this way. I'm lucky that I do. I do it with everything. I got out of beekeeping because I figured out what a bunch of con artists those guys are. I don't know why I think this way about animals, but I'm glad that I do. Yeah, they do, Larry. Oh, that is super, super creepy. Yeah, hanging dead animals' heads on the thing. Shooting a deer for the size of his antlers, that's nuts. It's just like crazy. Like, well, there's a guy that lives down the road that shoots armadillos, and then he takes them and he throws them where these vultures eat them. And it really pisses me off, to tell you the truth. And really, I got kind of like a half hard on for this guy already, just because he does that shit. Now, it's legal, and they're considered a nuisance animal. He can do it, but it pisses me off. Yeah, they eat good. Yeah, they did eat good. Turkeys are beautiful birds. I forgot about this. I knew turkeys were non-indigenous. They were imports, and I forgot last night where they came from. You know where turkeys came from? All turkeys, too. Every single one. Every single state in the United States, but Hawaii and Alaska have turkeys. You know where turkeys originated from? You're not going to believe it. Mexico. I forgot about that. Yeah, I had to look it up last night. All wild turkeys are from Mexico originally. They actually went to Europe and then came back. Isn't that something? Yeah. Yep. I know. I forgot about that. I mean, I knew they were not indigenous, uh, but I forgot they were from Mexico. Yeah. All wild turkeys are originally from Mexico. You know, I've had it rammed up my ass a couple times too for trying to help animals. I got a ticket one time for picking up a possum that was hit. I ended up paying for a hip replacement, $680. It's about 35 years ago. Cop gave me a ticket for obstructing traffic. We had some super bitter cold when I was living in Chicago, and I got a ticket for feeding uh, the birds. I got out of that one though. I said I was feeding the squirrels. I got out of the judge dismissed the ticket I got for obstructing traffic too. I didn't care if he did or he didn't. I mean, once I decided to do that, I was obstructing traffic, but it was to get an injured animal. So, I mean, I'm not jumping through any hoops and apologizing for that. If I get a ticket, I get a ticket. Fuck them. And I was able to give that cop a piece of my mind. When I can see I'm getting a ticket anyway, I mean, you're at least going to get a tongue lashing. Yeah. Fuck them. I got a fucking ticket uh, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, last September, when I went out to Montana, uh, by this fucking federal park ranger, because I had my camera. I'm in Glacier National Park, where I hadn't been out there in about 10 years or something like that. And the traffic is like doing 5 miles an hour. Hang on, ticket in Glacier National Park because I had my camera on. The traffic is like doing 5 miles an hour. And I did. I had my camera on, but I wasn't looking through it. I was just holding it like you were drinking a coffee. I got a fucking $300 ticket for that, for having a camera on. Believe it or not, it was supposed to be 2 trips to court out there. And where you go into Kalispell to Glacier National Park, if I had to fly out there, it ended up costing me about $3,000 to fight this fucking ticket. The guy said he gave me a break. I don't know if he did or not. But anyway, towards the end of the thing, he told me that me holding a camera while I was driving was egregious. And that was it for me. I thought, I'm not putting up with this shit anymore. I said, no, it's not egregious. It's the wrong use of the word. He said, yeah, it is. I said, no, it isn't. I said, it's no different than you fucking around on your computer running a plate, you looking at a GPS, your speedometer. I wasn't looking through that camera. You're giving me a bullshit ticket. Like people were blowing their horns. I'm trying to get a great shot of a couple of buffaloes fucking. It wasn't like anything like that at all. I had a camera in my hand. I wasn't looking through it, and I was just driving 5 miles an hour in bumper to bumper traffic. And you're giving me this bullshit ticket for this. That's what careless and reckless driving's for. But since you guys couldn't rip people off for those kind of tickets because I wasn't doing either one of those, you made up some new rule that you get a ticket for having a camera on when you do 10 times more distracting shit all day long in your patrol car. He said, well, I don't agree with you. I said, I don't agree with you. It's not egregious. Go look it up. And he lied. He told me, I went to Eastern Michigan, which was right down the street from the University of Michigan. He told me he had a degree in criminal justice from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. You know what? They don't have a criminal justice program. Never have had one. So who knows what this kook was really like, this federal park ranger. But he lied. So, I mean, everything's off the table when he's making up where he graduated from. Fucking douchebag. Yeah. Fuck him, man. That was Marty that called, by the way. Just wanted to know how I made out. Hey, Faye. Yeah, he was a dick. He actually wasn't that bad of a guy until that part. You know, that wasn't egregious. It's crazy, man. So, I'd still do it. I didn't really care. They blame me one time too for, they have these hunts where you get these rich guys come in. They take a bunch of domestically raised pheasants and then they let them all go in the morning, and then they let all these overweight jackoffs go out and shoot them. And they blame me one time at this place for letting them all go 2 days early. So I say, fuck them. Did you bury it successfully, honey? Did you bury it successfully? Huh? Did you bury your donut successfully, honey? No, these lights don't come on till 5:30. They come on at like 6 and 10 or through 10:30, and then they quit doing it until they don't turn them on again till 5:30. Yeah. So party, man. I'm fucking tired. If I see something cool though, I'm still gonna video record it. Krispy Kreme. But these Krispy Kremes don't set up until it's like a good place. Good, population and stuff. That's Daisy sitting on the seat with no belt. Busy down here. I only get the glaze. They don't have one with nuts on it. Hey, you guys ever eat one of these cookout hamburgers? Has anybody ever eaten one of these cookout hamburgers? Hey, you guys ever eat one of these cookout hamburgers? Are they any good? I see them all over. I saw they got good ratings. Nobody on here had one? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna get, a cookout hamburger. Yeah, they got good ratings. I'm gonna go get one. don't even know how to open this fucking thing. None in Colorado? Oh, you don't eat out much? I don't believe you. Damn it, I can't get this fucking console open. Up. Oh, they don't have them? Yeah, I never had one either. Anybody got one of these fucking Toyota vans? I don't know how to get this console up. So it's always down. Piece of shit. Oh, there it goes. Good girl, hon. Good girl, honey. That's a good baby, hon. Oh, good. Yeah, I'll be right back. Good girl, hon. That's good. That's console. You can ride on there, honey. Fucking thing. Bye, Blue. No, I got it. Yeah, it's a rod. Yeah, thank you.
And I got a small hamburger. Give Daisy a little bit of it. I don't feel like screwing around waiting a bunch of time in a place to go. Aiken, South Carolina. There you go, honey. Daisy's not too hungry today. Marty gave you a bunch of treats? Huh? You wrap it in tinfoil too. I got just raw onion on it. It's good, you know what it tastes like? Like a hamburger you did on a grill outside, charcoal grill. Probably why they call it cookout. No, I don't get raw onion, no. I think it's pretty good. I don't think they should eat onion anyway. Walmart. Yeah, autocorrect's a pain in the ass. Man, I've seen dogs go through the hood and eat every damn thing that was in garbage. Chicken bones, onions, pickles, chocolate. Just go down the road wagging their tail. I'll tell you, that dog, that mother dog, had a hell of an appetite. Probably a lot of that's to do with worms. Five Guys, Starbucks. Some nice buildings down here. That autocorrect's a pain in the ass, isn't it? Home Depot. It's a little cool today, 49. Nice big park over around here. I didn't even ask. I doubt it. I think that's another fantasy of animal shelters. Probably not. I mean, that's like Disney movie stuff. It's not reality. The puppy one had an eye problem. The other one had an infected tail. The mom's got her issues. They all have got worms. I mean, I don't know what good it would do for the mother to see the puppies again, because they're not all going to get adopted out anyway. I mean, I get what you're saying. Party City. I mean, I could find out, but I don't think you're gonna like that answer. Yeah, me too. I mean, you'll drive yourself nuts if you try to save every single whatever, because it's never ending. It's like, you know, helping heroin addicts. It's never ending. It's just one catastrophe after another. Every 1 out of 100 people fulfill your expectations. Yeah, I wish it wasn't that way. You know how it is. If I had all my wishes, I'd be a foot taller and a porno movie star. Didn't work out that way. I like just random driving around. This is big Bible Belt right here. Welcome to Aiken. Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, it's nice. This is downtown Aiken, South Carolina. Pretty, isn't it? I forget, where do you live? Don't ask. Where do you live? I'm gonna go this way. Achy breaky heart, Billy Cyrus. This is party. Oh, okay. You go to that zoo much out there? Martin Luther King Boulevard. Memorial Boulevard. Chris Rock said if you break down there, get out and just start running. No matter what city it's in. doing? How's it going, Penny? Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Yeah, Dollar General. Yeah, I'm close. That's where I do my Christmas shopping. I'll get everybody a big gift at Dollar General. Penny, you doing okay or not? It's all right, honey. Good girl. Okay, I'm going to take you for a long walk. You're a good girl. Are you? Yeah, that'll come back. Your energy will come back. Achy breaky heart. She did fine. She ignores it. Wouldn't even know I'd had a dog in the car. She didn't give a shit. not the reaction you'd think. You know, Waffle House, Deluxe Inn. Breaker 19, pedal to metal. Breaker 19, pedal to the metal. This was out of the way. I just didn't feel like driving through Augusta. So I'm going to punch it with the pedal of the metal. This is the way I go see Jabo. We party all night. Fucking COVID. I felt like I was going to die for the whole month of June last year. You know, brain fog up the ass. My teeth hurt. Didn't feel like eating. Lost my taste. Yeah, that medication, if you take it early within the first 5 days, I think, it helps. I didn't take it till the 5th day. Yeah, I felt like shit, man, big time. So did Marty. I got it from him, actually. Yeah, it takes the energy out of you. You're not kidding. This is how serious it was. I didn't watch porn for 3 weeks. I think that's very symptomatic of a... Yeah, that's what I said. I thought this is serious. The doctor said, "Do you feel like shit?" And I said, "I do." He said, "Do your teeth hurt?" They do. He said, "Do your muscles ache?" Yes. Have you lost your taste? I have. You have brain fog? Yep. He said, "If you quit watching porn?" I said, "I have." He said, "You definitely got COVID." Yeah, if you look on the internet, I don't want to tell you, you probably know this already. I mean, but there's some pretty good data out there on how long it takes to get over COVID. But I don't want to get you in a depressed mood. This isn't like just snapping out of the having a cold or the regular flu. Yeah. I told my doctor I've had COVID for 20 years. That's the thing with depression. I mean, it was hard to tell the difference between being chronically depressed and having COVID. You know, until I lost my taste. Excuse me. Fuck it. Excuse me. 300-mile-an-hour wind when I sneeze. Yeah, she'll eventually get over it. It depends on your personality, too.
psychosomatic illnesses. I mean, if you're a fruitcake like me and you tend to lean towards being depressed a lot, in my fucked up mind, I'm sure I'm never going to get over COVID totally. I'll blame everything on it. I thank COVID for giving me a legitimate medical excuse for everything all my transgressions. I forget something, it's COVID. I don't remember a phone number, COVID. I'm in a shitty mood, COVID. Restricted lung, I don't know too much about that. Has she done that respiratory therapy with steroids and inhalers and shit? She could get a bronchial dilator, I bet it would help her, just as if you had COPD. Have she checked into that? Thank you, don't ask. Yeah, it happens. But if you think about it, when you're 18 years old and you leave your books on top of the roof of your car with the term paper in it and take off, there's not much to blame it on. Everybody calls you a dumb fuck. It's like, why would you leave your books? Like, well, I was talking, got distracted. All of a sudden I got home, realized I didn't have my books, remember setting them on the roof. I see people pulling out of parking lots with coffee on the roof all the fucking time. Now, when you're 18, you don't have anything to blame it on. You're just a dumbass. But when you get older and with this COVID around, I mean, you got a good excuse. I mean, people forget things at all ages all the time. And Penny, you could have done that if you were 20 years old. But now that you're a little older, you're thinking that it had to do something to do with COVID. It may have, but it probably didn't. You just simply forgot it. People forget things all the time. Oh, it permanently messed it up? Oh, sorry about that. You couldn't get some gene therapy for that? Experimental studies? Yeah, that should, I don't know enough about it, but I would think that would help her a lot. Those bronchial dilators, those have been, lifesavers for people with lung problems through a lot of things. Asbestos, dust, asthma, COVID. They help you breathe. They're good. Yeah, I know what you mean. I do that too. Look at it this way, though, Penny. Now when you forget the checks, you got an out. I mean, it sucks you had COVID. I wish I didn't have it. But now you can blame everything on it. Instead of just being old and forgetful, you got COVID to lay it on. It's not 100% bad. You got an out now. Yeah, that's what I do. You get on this Medicare. It's a fucking nightmare. Anybody that's coming up to Medicare, contact me. There is so much bullshit connected with that. It's unbelievable. I just used the COVID excuse here about 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I got this fucking supplement on this Medicare. Because, it's only 80% Medicare pays. And if you don't have the supplement, you can still get some big bills. So I got it. So I'm back at that dermatology office back in September. A lady said, I ran your card, your insurance has lapsed. So I call them up. It's like, what do you mean my insurance has lapsed? I would still get my mail delivered to Michigan. They said, yeah, we turned it off, 2 weeks ago or some shit. I said, all right, let me give you my credit card number. She said, well, we don't normally do this. It's like, okay, well, could you please do it? She said, yeah. So they give me my insurance. So that was in September, and she said I was paying the fourth quarter. Now, wouldn't you think that'd be October, November, December, the fourth quarter? Well, it's not. They got these fucked up quarters with different months. So I get these bills from this dermatologist. This skin treatments that I'm getting are expensive. And it's like $5,100 or some shit that I'm responsible for. It's like, what in the hell are you talking about? So I call up. It's like your supplement was expired. It's like, how could it be expired? I paid the fourth quarter. So I called the place up. I said, hey, what do you mean it's expired? It expired like December 3rd or some shit. I said, well, I just talked to you guys like September, and I paid the fourth quarter. Wouldn't that be, October, November? She said, no, our quarters run different. So my quarter ended going into September 3rd, and they canceled my insurance. Now I was going to be on the hook, and I thought, I am fucked now, because that supplement's only like $120 a month or something like that. And I thought they got a chance to get out of at least about $6,000. I said, well, could you reinstate me? She said, we already did that once for you. I said, I know you did, but look at it my way. I called you. I thought I was paying the fourth quarter. She said, well, we gave you a chance. It's just not our policy. And I'm thinking, there's no way in hell I'm going to get this turned over. I said, well, let me talk to a supervisor then. So she comes on, hello, Mr. Reed, can I help you? It's like, yeah. I said, I had this happen, but I thought I was paying the fourth quarter. She said, well, I understand that. And I said, I need to get this paid. She said, well, this has been the second time. You were lucky to get it the first time. And we just can't do that. I said, no, I need this done. I need this. I'll tell you, I had COVID. And I'm still not 100% over COVID yet. And she kind of got silent for a second. And she asked me, she said, well, what were the effects of COVID? I don't know whether her dad or husband, somebody she knew, died. She said, hang on a second. She came back. She said, I'm going to reinstate you. This is the last time. But you got to do auto pay. Well, that was actually, I wanted to do auto pay anyway, because I thought, man, I do not want to lose this supplement. I just did it with Verizon too. I never liked auto pay, but I'm just getting to the age where, I don't really have any bills. Everything's paid for, and I have perfect credit, but I don't give a fuck about it like I used to. And the things that I let slide, like my cell phone and this Medicare, I didn't give a shit. They're not reporting to my credit anyway. And I was just half-ass paying attention to when I had to pay it. And, I wasn't doing a very good job of it. So I got reinstated, and they covered that $6,000 worth of bills for a $120 payment for the month of December. And I thought for sure, they got this all computerized, the thing's flashing a light, but I got it. But because I told her I had COVID, it got me another bite at the apple. Yeah, she helped me out. She had the authority to do it. She was acting like, we're going to have to do auto pay. It's like, hell yeah, no problem, man. I said, I'll even pay a fine. You fucking ain't right, I'd have paid a fine. I was on the hook for $6,000. At least, because I had treatments after that. You know how this medical billing bullshit goes. Here I'm going back there right after Christmas and even racking up more bills thinking that I'm covered. I bet those charges were like $7,000 or some shit. And they're all getting covered now because this lady sympathized with my COVID story. Nah, fuck no, I don't take it. Not really. I get like low vitamin D, and I should, I take a blood pressure pill. I'll tell you why it costs so much, because it's just the way it is. It costs that way all over the world. See, this is my argument about the United States going third world. If you're rich, you don't care. And if you're poor, you don't care. Poor people on Medicaid, they got the best insurance in the world. Actually, they can get prescriptions covered that you can't, even if you had the best insurance you could buy. So the problem is, and I talk about this all the time, is the middle class. Those are the people that are sweating it out. Everybody I know's got a fucking $5,000 deductible, 20% copay. It's, they try to keep you from using the emergency room as your primary care physician, so that an incentive to make appointments and not go to an emergency. But if you ever look at the figures on Medicaid, poor people use the emergency room as their primary care physician. Any little tiny thing they got going, they go to the emergency room. They don't give a shit because they're not paying for it anyway. And by the way, if you're on Medicare and you get an ambulance, you better make sure you get admitted for at least 2 days, because if you don't, they're going to stick you with that ambulance bill. You got to get admitted, and it has to be for 2 days. And there's all sorts of bullshit like this. But back to why it's so expensive, it's just the nature of the beast. It's expensive to go to medical school. It's expensive to run a business, pay utilities, work comp, malpractice, all this shit. And people say, well, what about Canada? Yeah, what about Canada? Go and look up Canada. That is anything but free. They pay about a 50% income tax over there because of their free medical care. It's not free. So the money has to come from somewhere, and you can pick your poison. To me, like Medicare, I mean, if I didn't have Medicare, I don't know what the fuck I'd do. Probably go to the casino and just blow all my money so I got on Medicaid and not worry about it. Yeah. Fuck, when you're on Medicaid, insurance-wise, the rest of your life may suck. You're eating fucking Cheerios and shit for dinner. You know, taking the public bus and catching COVID every other month. But the one worry you don't have, and that's insurance. You got the best insurance out there, minus elective procedures. You're not going to get a deviated septum fixed. You're not going to get a couple big tits put on. But for emergencies and hardcore medical care, you got it made. This is what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to buy one of these like motorhomes like this, and I'm just going to bring back Girls Gone Wild. Why not? Just drop this dog saving thing and feeding turkeys and just go out with a big bang. I'll get one of those metal things that you put on the back that sticks out about 4 feet. You know, they put bicycles on it and that kind of thing. I'm just going to put Viagra on mine. Just about like 10,000 pills of Viagra. So it doesn't take up room inside the living quarters. Thank you, Larry. Larry always comes up with great ideas. Larry, if you wouldn't mind, maybe you could come part-time and I'd pay you really well cash. Just to wipe it down after every dance. I don't want to get COVID. Why not? Just traveling around the country. Girls Gone Wild. I've driven 2 Class A motorhomes back for people from Miami. You couldn't give me one of those things. And as you probably know, you'd be surprised the places that you can't go with one. There's all sorts of places, like in the national parks, you can't take a motorhome through it. You know, because of width restrictions, height restrictions. I mean, you get to a lot of these places you think you're going to enjoy, and they don't allow you in there. And another thing, too, you just can't park those things where you feel like. There's places that'll write you a ticket now if they catch you sleeping in a motorhome at a rest stop. Those are rest areas. They're not places to camp. Church of No Panties. Yeah, I gotta check on that guy. I keep forgetting. Church of No Panties. Yeah, fair enough. That sure's got a good ring to it, doesn't it? And it's not what it sounds like. It sounds like perverted. But all he was saying was there aren't enough shelters for men. They're all over the place for women, but not men. It's probably true. And that's what he meant by a church with no panties. He said he was going to put locations all across the United States. Smoke more weed. Yeah. I'm all for it. I think I might just spring for about 25 grand, get a mail order bride as soon as this divorce is finished. Just do it right. I like Thai food anyway. Asian food, laundry done. Get up in the morning, all the trail cams have corn in front of them. Teach her how to read the SD cards. You know, I made a big video, a lot of trail cam photos, and for some reason I'm having a hard time uploading it. I've never had that happen before. I don't know why. It only uploaded at 2% and quit, and it looks like it did it again today. Yeah, dreams. Your dreams become, I want my dreams to become reality. Yeah, going to the chapel, going to get married. I'll pipe that song Dream, Dream, Dream all the time as we're going down the road. That's a good idea, Patricia. Dream starts someplace. I'll tell you one thing. I mean, it's a pain in the ass getting to that dog place from where I live, because you gotta they route you down through Augusta, which isn't bad traffic. It's just 50 turns before you get there. That's why I went the long way. This time I didn't feel like that. I'd rather it be longer and faster. Yeah, Daisy Cam, she could do it. The one good thing here, you can really haul ass. I don't know if it's true, but they say that they don't even pull you over unless you're going over 90, and I kind of believe that. Dream. Oh, look, that guy wrecked his car. That exit back there is where they dumped over that fire truck a couple weeks ago. Turning left driving too fast, tipped over the fire truck. Fucked it up. 3 firemen got hurt. You'd think by the time you got signed off on driving one of those, you would know how fast to go around a curve. I know that intersection. They're actually making it a little... Got dreams can be made of. That's what dreams are made of. Come on, man, get out of the left lane. This happens once in a while, but not much. Cook, that was a decent hamburger, not great. I'll tell you one thing, the registers though were filthy on the top, like where you put your hand. If you ever go into a place that has like wooden chairs, where people grab them on top to sit down, you can tell if a place is clean or dirty. It's got that like black shit, grime. That's how that place was. But I paid close attention. The people on the register weren't cooking the hamburgers. I don't know if that got me anywhere. Oh yeah, I saw that on the sign easily. Yep, I saw that on the sign. It was, I think I was like 15 miles from there. The van's still up in Michigan. I got to do some work to it. Yeah, I've had this for a long time, but I've only been driving it about 9 months. It was in my garage. And then I bought one of those Super Snakes, Shelby F-150 pickup, 755 horsepower. And I bought it from Ford. And as it turned out, it was a clone, a fake. It was a Shelby, but it wasn't the Super Snake. So they bought it back from me. Well, I didn't really like it that much anyway. To tell you the truth, 755 horsepower. It wasn't as fast as I thought it'd be. Now, I didn't expect a big, heavy four-wheel drive pickup to be super fast, but 755 horsepower. I thought it would have had a lot more low-end torque. It didn't really seem much faster than a turbocharged F450 with the 6.7 in it. Yeah, it just kind of turns you off. I mean, I wouldn't go back there because of it, you know? Kind of turns you off. You know, you can get turned off on stuff, people. It can be just a comment, anything. You just don't want to mess with them over, you know, something they said or did or their opinion on something. They were actually cool about it. I mean, and you know, that window was $2,000 to replace. That window busted here about 2 weeks ago. And that's how it got noticed, actually. The guy at the glass shop said, hey, this turbo isn't right on this thing. I think this is a clone. Sure enough, it was not a registered Carroll Shelby Super Snake. It was a Shelby pickup 150, but all that other shit had been added on. I bought it used from Ford's auction site with 14,000 miles on it. And they didn't check it. And then he got checking around. He actually, I'd still be driving that thing. I don't know that much about him. And actually, it had a bigger turbocharger on it, supercharger, than came with it on the Carroll Shelby model. I'm sure if you race the two, that one was probably a little faster. But somebody came on the other day and said that's one of the #1 clone vehicles, Shelbys and Cobras, the cars. Yeah. Honestly, it worked out. I didn't really like it that much. It was kind of impulse buy, you know. I got a good deal on it. And they paid me everything. Plus, they paid for the windshield. I didn't have to pay a deductible or anything. That windshield was $2,000. It had, you know, it's one of those windshields where, you know, when it starts to rain, it comes on automatic and all that shit. That's why I don't like these new cars. Fucking junk, man. I don't have an interest in any of these new cars. I can't even tell you one that I'd want, to be honest with you. All plastic, junk. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, so it worked out. I think I might get a new van. I'm thinking about it. They had that one of those big GM vans. They got those, but the problem is they don't make them in all-wheel drive anymore that I know of. And they get such shitty gas mileage. You know, 95% of the time, I could get by with a small car. But if I want to hit the road with my camera gear like this thing's too small. You know, in the Astro van, I could reach back and grab a camera, and this thing is just too small. I mean, this is a van, but it's small. It's smaller than some cars, even though it's the shape of a van. I can reach across and unlock the other door. You can't do that in an Astro van. I mean, I need a little more space, you know. And as I used to like staying in hotels and motels, but I'm getting to where I don't want to do that anymore because they rip you off if you have a pet. Red Roof Inn used to be my go-to, but those are going out of business left and right, or they've went ghetto. And I just dread going into a place where they'll take pets, but you got to jump through 9,000 hoops. Even though Daisy's not a problem, you know, they go into your room the next day with a magnifying glass and they want to fuck you out of here. $100 deposit and all this other bullshit. Nah, they get too shitty gas mileage. Actually, I had a chance to get a good motorhome about a month ago. It's 20 years old, low mileage, but I know better. I'd rather get like the big van, put like a place where I could sleep back there, make some screen windows. And I'm the kind of guy, like when I'm trying to get someplace, like when I go out to New Mexico, I think this next trip I'm going to take, see, I'm not going to get my fast internet till March. I'm just going to buy a bunch of 256 SD cards, and I'm just going to not upload as I go along. Because that's kind of what made me check into hotels. But I'd rather just hit the road, fill up my SD cards, take cat naps. You know, it's starting to work better for me. Not kiss the ass of the hotel because I have a dog. Although this next trip, I think, where I'm going to go to New Mexico, I don't think I'm going to take Daisy. It depends. Like I put lots of miles on cars. I put 5,000 miles on this car in 3 weeks. And on my Astro van, I put 456,000 miles on it. Now that took a while to do. I average about 60,000 miles a year. Not this last year, because I wasn't on the road as much, but that's about my average mileage. It depends what you're getting. I mean, you know, as it turns out, I was looking at these Subarus, but you don't want one of those with over 100,000 miles. They're great up until then, but those engines start to use oil. I really don't know what to recommend you at this time. Depending on the year, I can prove this to you with boats, airplanes, and cars. The miles aren't everything. I know enough to know that I'd rather have a vehicle that was driven every day than one of these vehicles that looks like it's brand new that's been in a storage unit for 15 years. They don't make it. Let me give you an example. On most small airplane engines, to be overhauled, 2,000 hours on an engine. That's a recommendation. It's not a requirement. Well, if you own one as an individual, you're lucky to fly 75 hours a year. So it takes forever to get 2,000 hours. And if you look at those engines, you do top overhauls, you know, the cylinders rust. You're not getting 2,000 hours a year, 2,000 hours on that engine when you're only flying it that much a year. And the data is there to show you this. The less they're flown, the less longevity you're going to get in the engine. But if you take that same engine and it's in a flying school, like let's say in a 152, and they fly the shit out of it all day long every year, shit, I've seen them get 3,100 hours out of them before they started to lose compression. Why? Because it's used all the time. Those cylinders aren't getting moisture in them. It's used. They're not allowed to corrode. So, you know, low miles is a double-edged sword, is the point. Yeah, good on gas. The problem with the good on gas is you can't put anything in them, you know. You know, I've got all the Nikon good cameras and all the Sony good cameras and all the good lenses. But to be honest with you, this latest phone that I've got, this S22 Ultra, I'm getting to the point now where, you know, these phones are probably going to get better. And if I knew that a phone was going to be able to do all this shit at this level back then, I wouldn't have bought any of that shit. So you can say phones are expensive, but I probably got $30,000 in camera and video equipment, maybe more. And to be honest with you, if right now if something happened and it all got stolen, I think I'd probably just use this S22. There are slight disadvantages, but there's also 40 grand I'd have that I wouldn't have, that I didn't have over the years buying all this shit. These cameras are great. The zoom's pretty good. The audio's pretty good. The still pictures are great. It's got a night mode. And I don't need to fuck with all this shit. And I could drive around in a hybrid and get 60 miles a gallon. I wouldn't need the room anymore. Yeah, I'm not into that Apple bullshit. I had an Apple that wasn't really used that much. A guy gave me, and I just sent it to a friend of mine last week. I've never messed with that Apple shit. I think it's overpriced on the computer's expansions difficulty. I'd rather have a PC any day. I'm not an Apple guy at all. I think it's overpriced, and everybody else is caught up with their video editing, and you don't need Apple. I think it's just great marketing. I say fuck Apple. Yeah, I'm just not into it. I mean, there's people that love them, won't have anything else. You know, I guess they've had problems with cracked screens, although anybody I asked said they didn't. For a while, there was a big problem. If you were doing Apple bullshit, you were trying to put it on a PC. I mean, everybody says, oh, Apple's so great, it's so fast, it doesn't get hot when I transfer files. Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because of the cores and the processor. Just like any other computer. There's nothing unique or special about them. That's why they cost so much. If you take that same, let's say for an example, you put $6,000 into an Apple computer, you're limited on other than using external hard drives. I'll tell you, for $6,000, I could get you a computer built that'd blow that thing out of the water. It would. It'd smoke Apple. Now, you wouldn't be able to go and tell everybody I got Apple this, Apple that, but you'd have a computer that was really smoking. Yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion, which doesn't mean shit, but I think it's all overpriced, and, you know, I don't want their phones or computers, nothing. I had a brand new Apple, whatever the fuck it is, 12 or 13. It was only used a little bit. My buddy gave it to me. I said, do you mind if I give this away? Because his company upgrades them every year. He said, no, do it. So I got it wiped and cleaned, and gave it to a friend of mine. Yeah, see, it's what you get used to, you know what I mean? I don't want that iPad or any of that bullshit. I'll tell you another thing, too. Depending on what you're doing, I'd much rather have a desktop with an independent screen. I don't like all that all-in-one bullshit. Something suffers. All-in-one anything sucks. Whether it's a tractor with a mowing deck that has a front-end loader and a digger on the back, something suffers. You're better off getting dedicated stuff for the task. I want a separate monitor. I want a separate desktop. I don't want all this all-in-one bullshit. If you look, go on YouTube. Look at this S22 Ultra I got. Now, I guess they were selling for, I don't know what, when they came out, $1,500. Then they went down to $11. Well, I got this one for like $7, supposedly, you know, because I'm a Verizon guy. And to me, if you look at the comparisons, the S22 to the latest Apple, with almost all features on YouTube, the S22 comes out on top. Ultra. You got that little stylus and all that bullshit, which is kind of cool. It's got that night mode. Yeah, no, there's a lot of people like that. Yeah. You know, computers right now, like if I went out and I reluctantly, kicking and screaming, went to 4K. And I knew when I did it, I wasn't, you know, both feet in. And now that's 6K and 8K's kind of died out because these companies need to make money, right? And they just, I mean, I don't even want to do 4K most of the time. But if you're rendering 4K, like doing editing, I'm talking about heavy editing, which I don't do. I do simple shit. I'll add music, splice a couple together, whack off a bunch of blurry spots. So I can get away with like a so-so computer. But if I got a new computer right now that I was going to have for the future, in case I eventually have to move to 6 or 8K, people aren't watching 6 or 8K in a 6 or 8K monitor anyway. Most people don't even, there are very few laptops with 4K monitors. So, but, you know, you don't want to get old technology. And if I had to go out and buy a desktop tomorrow that I planned on using for like the next 5 or 8 years, I'm sure I'd have to pay about $8,500 for it. That's just the way it is. I mean, I follow them, I look at them, I look at the processors. It's crazy, man. Used to get like a smoking computer for like $1,000. Laptops are crazy. If I went out and got a new laptop today for a decent one that did what I wanted to do, probably be $4,000. Now, if you're just bullshitting around with emails and, you know, attaching photos and surfing the net, you don't need anything like that. But when you're crunching heavy 4K video and 36 and 46 megapixel photos, you'll notice a difference. And when you're on those more inexpensive computers, you can't do anything else. That thing's busting its fucking ass trying to process these files. You're not minimizing the window and going and watching Pornhub. It just doesn't have the nuts. I mean, you know, it's the old adage, you get what you pay for. I don't think that's more true than with computers. These lakes are all, rivers are all muddy looking, you know, from all that rain. I don't know if this thing got stuck or what. Can you guys hear me? Or is this stuck? I'm not ignoring you, it's just the comments froze, I think. Oh, no, it worked. I'm going home, heading home. I'm going to stop by this other animal rescue, give them a donation. Excuse me. Fuck. This party on. Penny, you'll get back to normal. Don't you worry, girl. And here's another thing to consider, too. I got the same problem. I wouldn't say it's a problem. It's just the way it is. You know, we're not getting younger. So, you know, at our age, you know, a year from now, we're going to be trying to figure out it was COVID or it was because we got 1 year older at this stage of the game. And you never were to, it's not easy to place the blame. Thank you. That's why I say, if it feels good, do it. That's my religion. I think that's a great religion to adhere to. If it feels good, do it. If you guys ever wonder, like, you know, where your day goes, just start doing lives and stuff like that, like I do. And you'll wonder where the day goes, because it's all recorded on the time that you do this. Like, I started this recording as I was leaving the dog thing. And it's 1 hour and 55 minutes. And then it was like the same time to get out there, of course. And, you know, I don't wonder where the days go, because I'm constantly looking at these timers and I'm realizing how much time thing. Like yesterday, I went out to Thompson, messed around with the dogs, came home, went out there again. And before you know it, my damn whole day was, I didn't get home till like 10:30 at night. But because I was doing lives, then I got home and did another one. You know, I was thinking I'd go on for a half hour. And we end up talking about different things. And before you know it, you know, I'm staying up till 3:30 in the morning. Which is why, instead of messing around Aiken, I'm going home to go to sleep. Because I feel tired. when you're tired, you don't feel like doing anything. That's one thing I've learned on these trips that I take, and that is that you got to get a good night's sleep, because if you don't, you're seeing stuff you'd like to photograph, but it's like if it's a little bit of a problem, pulling over, you start skipping shit because you're tired. You don't feel like it. You get a good night's sleep, you don't miss anything. You're pulling over everywhere, no matter if it's a U-turn or driving back in the woods a half mile, that kind of thing. Yeah, yep. So I got 2 nights in a row with only about 5 hours sleep. And I was trying to get over a cold. It actually seems like it's coming back a little bit. So I'll just go home, watch some TV. I'm gonna stop by this lady that helped on the dog things, give her thing a donation. Yeah, unless it's heroin, that's right. I'll tell you, there's nothing worse that I can think of than heroin addiction, as far as a bad addiction. It's really bad. Totally ruin your life in like every way possible. Your physical, your mental, your family, your relationships. You're just a walking zombie. Oh, last night? Oh, with who? Who did I? Oh, you mean with Michelle? Oh, yeah, that was all right. I mean, yeah, it was, it's fun to just, talk. And I wish I wouldn't have, but I got to bed earlier, but I like setting it up better. But that's how things are. I mean, I'm not a guy that I like spontaneity, I don't like planning things that much. It just bores me too much. So I wasn't even going to go on last night, and here I end up being on there 5 hours, So, here's a guy walking. Normally I'd stop, but I got Daisy and a bunch of shit in the front seat. Fuck it. Oh, that lady was absolutely perfect to have on. Again, I wish I had more people sign on like that. At first, I was just so relieved I wasn't porn bound, and then she actually, was a well-spoken, polite person that asked intelligent questions. It was fun. Those are far and few between. I mean, she was very good person. Oh, really? Oh, did you, Penny? I got another good bottle of scotch last night. I didn't drink any of it, but when I laid eyes on that in the liquor store, I thought I got to get this for later. When I'm super tired like this and not feeling good, I know it sounds crazy, but I don't want to waste my scotch. Isn't that crazy? It's that Port Charlotte. I'll take a picture of it and send it to you. That's another big seller. That's right up there with Ardbeg 10. Excellent scotch. Super great. Both sleepy and stuffy. I'm going to stop by this animal thing here, and then I'm going to go home and just fuck around. Oh yeah, but this other one that I'll send you a picture of is the same thing. If you order that at your store, you'll sell the hell out of it. It comes in one of those nice cans. It's not that much. I think it's like $90 or something like that. I mean, for a quality scotch. But for a bang for your buck, if you like that peaty, smoky taste, Ardbeg 10, you're not going to get a better deal. And it actually, if you read about it, it comes from those areas in Scotland where that peat, you can't duplicate it. There's a couple frauds out there that claim, there's one that's like the peatiest scotch or some corny ass name, and it actually, they must have paid somebody off because they got ranked as like one of the top 5 peatiest scotches, and it was terrible. Wasn't even close. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to party. What's today? Thursday? I think it is. Oh, have you? I haven't had caviar in a long time. Yeah, it's good. That's how I feel about the Brazilian steakhouse. Oh, Thursday? All right, thanks. The Brazilian steakhouse. I think you'd really like that too. The only problem with Brazilian steakhouse, if you're going with somebody you're friends with, but if you're going with someone like a social gathering you don't know very well, like if I took you there, Rachel, whatever you want me to call you, you'd sit and pick around at like a sliver of meat, eat a salad, say you're full. It's like, what in the hell did I bring you to the Brazilian steakhouse? But if you knew me for like 5 years and you just ate like you were at home with no makeup and no man around, you'd be like knocking down 3 pounds of red meat. And it's hard to get women to behave like that at the beginning, to just be themselves. They fiddly fuck around with this little sliver of meat, don't want to get fat. And I'm thinking, will you knock this shit off? Yeah, Scotch is whiskey, but it's from the good stuff's from Scotland. I think you'd really like it. Yeah, that's what I do. Go there. I plan on it. I go there when I'm starting. And they have fantastic salad bars. I was talking to the guy that owns the one in Hilton Head. It's a pretty good one. And he was telling me about his food costs. This guy needs to get this fucking thing off the road. He was talking about his food costs. And for a while they're like lamb. That's why when you're in there, they don't want you. I mean, you're running a business. You're constantly splitting hairs on making a profit and not pissing customers off. And with the cost of food now at a Brazilian steakhouse, that's hard to do. I mean, if I ran one, I want them trying the ground sirloin that's flavored and pressed together. That's good, rather than eating a bunch of lamb chops. And I know when I was there about 6 months ago, he said his cost on their lamb chops was $4 a lamb chop, which is just nuts. So, if you're running that place, you tell these gauchos or whatever they call them, I want you to hide in the closet with that skewer of lamb chops, and I want you to bring the chicken things and the pineapple with cinnamon on it first. We'll be out of business. We're giving away 4 pounds of lamb chops to everybody that comes in here. I get it. Yeah, they're getting that way, Larry. Yeah, kind of true. And the ones that are still around are just total garbage, like cheap food, cruise ship food. Like if you went on a real cheap, $299 cruise out of Fort Lauderdale, that food sucks. Bunch of canned shit. I mean, it's the worst food ever. I've been on about 5 cruises, and the food was shitty on every one of them compared to what you get at a good restaurant. 14,000 choices of cake. The one in Hilton Head's pretty good. It's not the best one, but it's good enough. I think it's cheap too. $59 or something like that. Yeah, but owning a place like a Brazilian steakhouse now in this day and age, with food costs and dealing with the public. If you go onto the one in Hilton Head, just look at some of the reviews these pricks have left this guy. I mean, you just can't please some people. They bitch about everything. I mean, they're bitching, they catch somebody sticking, 2 pounds of lamb chops in their purse and call them on it. And, they leave them a shitty review. I mean, it's a nightmare owning a place like that. Yeah, don't ask. Nah, bullshit. All that shit on cruise ships is fucking canned. I don't care if it's
I mean, there may be one someplace that's got fresh shit, but I doubt it. You know, you're out there sailing around. What are you going to do? Have like the freshest stuff? No. You got it on like, you know, ice or it's canned. It's like Gordon Food stuff. One of these big food purveyors. Canned crab, you know, the sushis. Where you notice it is in stuff like sushi. It's like Kroger sushi. It's not bad. It's better than no sushi, but it's not like sushi from a legitimate sushi restaurant. You know what I mean? And that's how, if you're, and I'm not judgmental or knocking people, but if you, you know, if you like were in a lower blue collar area and you're used to Johnny's Diner and Checkers hamburgers, you're going to think a cruise ship food is great. And you just can't believe that you can sit and gorge yourself on these fake crab legs. But if you've been around and you like fine dining and you've experienced it, I don't know of anybody that thinks the food's worth a fuck. I mean, I'd rather they just quit fucking around, have a nice cruise, and just have like great pastrami sandwiches. Quit trying to act like this canned frozen seafood is like legit. It's not. It's more like bait. Oh, you never complain? That's my girl. Good. Oh, it does? Yeah, it could. But I'm telling you, if you get around and you like, if you like, let's say aged cheddar cheese, aged steaks, dry aged steaks, like Burn Steakhouse in Florida, or you get good cheese like Pink County, Michigan, you know, top-notch food. I would be surprised that you would find any cruise ship that could match that. It's like, of course, you know, that's the best of the best. I know. I'm not saying you won't have a good, but this, any cruise I ever been on, you know, I didn't go on my first one till I think I was in the 30s or something. And I'd been to enough good restaurants where I knew the difference. And I thought, this food is bullshit. But it's all subjective. It's all what you're used to. I mean, I don't eat that shit every day either. I mean, you see the places that I go to eat. But these little southern soul food places where I get these $10 lunches, to me, that's better than a lot of that cruise ship. I don't care if it was Oysters Rockefeller or frozen fake crab legs. Yeah. I've gotten sick on those cruises too. Got seasick. I don't know if you've ever been seasick or not, but you actually feel worse than I did when I had COVID. Oh yeah, prison food. Yeah, that's it. Yep. Yeah, that's cool. Prison food. Yeah, they have good creme brulee at that Brazilian steakhouse. That's extra though. In Hilton Head. You know, that's the first time I had creme brulee, about 6 months ago. Hilton Head. I'm not really a dessert eater, but it was good. But that's extra. I mean, I don't blame these people. When I go in, I know I've been self-employed my whole life. So when I go into a place, I'm not nickel and diming them. I know shit costs money. You know, and I don't want to be a cheapskate bitcher, chronic complainer. Yeah, I went on one cruise ship where they went to the Cayman Islands and all that stuff, and they had like a fucking hurricane, and we skipped like 2 ports, and they gave a half off thing at the end of the cruise, and you were getting off. It's like, fuck you. I know this wasn't your fault. Arguably,
but you guys need to check these weather reports. And I don't even want this half off. Give it away to somebody else. I'm never going on this cruise line again. I mean, this shit is forecast 2 weeks in advance. I was in the fucking Poseidon Adventure for 5 days. I was about ready to jump off that son of a bitch and just start swimming. That seasickness is a bitch. Yeah, I don't like sailing that much. It's too boring. It's too boring for me. I didn't like Hawaii that much either. I mean, the only cool thing, I don't like really swimming that much. But the one thing I will say I did like in Hawaii was actually snorkeling. I mean, it looks like you're like in the air. It's so clear. I mean, the water's warm. You never get cold. All this cool shit swimming around. Looks like you're in a Disney movie. It's so beautiful. It looks animated. No, I don't think I put a video about my cruise. Last one I took was quite a while ago. Yeah, I mean, the best cruise I ever had was Alaska. They had lectures and it wasn't a bunch of party. Like these Kid Rock cruises and these bands that have. You couldn't pay me to go on one of those. I want to go on a cruise with just a bunch of old ladies my age, just slobbering down their face because they've had strokes. Get my napkin, dab it for them, have them get a crush on me, bilk them out of their retirement. I got plans now. Yeah, I like to. Yeah, Hawaii once enough was for me. I thought that plane was never going to land. I went to Lindbergh's grave, rode to Hana, all that bullshit. Yeah, I just as soon go down to the Bahamas. I'm not going to Mexico anymore either. I don't want to get murdered in a drug shootout. Traveling's a pain in the ass now. It's not like the old days. Yeah, no, fuck that. I hope I never go to Hawaii again. What I like to do is go down to places like Indy Atlantic, Melbourne, Florida. Get a good bottle of scotch, a couple 4-packs of Dragon's Milk. Check into some kick-ass room that's like $400 a night. Order in good food. Just sit out on the balcony and listen to the waves crash and drink my shots. Go nowhere. It's so great. Just sitting there, nobody bugging me. Just watching people down there on the beach. I try and get the highest floor I can. Leave the window open all night. Sliding glass door. That's my idea of vacation. I don't want to be driving in traffic, going through bullshit, switching planes, standing in line to eat. I'm willing to pay for it because I've owned enough shit and went enough places to know that, you know, my blue collar ass, when I started out, I thought $300 or $400 a night, you were out of your mind. And then I realized what it costs to like run a place and how lucky I am to be able to just go there for 3 days, not worrying about a hurricane blowing it over, not worrying about killing every cockroach on the property, and being able to go in there, pay them, make a profit, never go back. It's worth everything to me. It's worth every dime. But when you're young, you're thinking, I'm not paying that much. That's too much money. I'm staying at the damn Super 8 for $39.99. That sucks. Some damn semi running out in front of your yard, sleeping right next to the air conditioner. But when you just want to have a relaxing time, not get bothered, give the maid $20 to get lost, put your towels out in the hallway. That's my idea of vacation. Read books. No, those tree houses are cool. Yeah, they really are. Yeah, I think they are. Yeah, I think a treehouse would be cool. I think it's great staying on the beach, like where you're high up. Nice place. You know, I'm not sure I'd want to live on the beach where people could like walk by your house all the time. I don't think I like that. Girls Gone Wild. Yeah, I think it'd be a fun treehouse. Yeah, I think they're cool. Look at this cool old place. Old buildings on there. Kind of cool looking. See, this is that clear cutting. I mean, it looks like shit after they clear cut. Clear cut. Yeah, do not disturb. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, you just got to try and. You see these white stripes on these trees? That means timber companies own this. I mean, you probably got a lot of the. You have longleaf pines out in Texas, I think. You got a lot of pine trees like this. Clear cut. Hey, were any of you guys? Did any of you guys pay much attention to that animal rescue facility in Crawfordville? I think I know where it's at, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, lots of pine, Joe. I'd like to borrow that dozer, that cat dozer down there. Yeah, I think I know where they're talking about, but I'll know in about 5 minutes. Clear cut. These cute little houses. Some of these cute little houses people live in. One thing I wish down here is that we get more helping hands. That's what it is. I think I know where it's at. It's right. Should be past this 47 here on the left. I'm gonna find out. Yeah, right up here on the lady kind of told me last night. I'll find out here in a second. Oh, 198 Broad Street, thank you. Yeah, that's it. I know I'm close. What's an address on a house here? What address is this? Okay, yeah, I think it's up here. I think it's this one right here on the corner. Let me see here. What address is that? Yeah, that's it right there, yep. Thanks for looking that up. Broad Street. I'll go down here and turn around. $198 Broad Street. Yeah, let me set this up here for a second. I think it's right here. I don't know where the hell you park though. Yeah, there's a bunch of dogs back here. Pretty sure this is. I don't know where I'm gonna park here. It's like nowhere to park around there. Stop here for a second.
I gave it to her helper. We're gonna party all night. Cold out. Home sweet home. No, I got Daisy. She's in the back. Oh yeah, I got her today. I wish I'd have left her home yesterday. Oh, Blue put it all together, and this lady helped a lot too. I'd have probably been feeding those damn dogs till the day I died. So it's a big load off my back. Now this will buffer until I get to the house, but just hang in there. Watch out, sparrows. Maybe you'll get to see the turkeys. You know, when you live out in rural places like this, you're always suspicious of every car down here you don't recognize. No, I think it'll play. It's a clear day, so it may play the whole way. The turkeys were right up here. Looks like they ate a lot of that food. Around here. Yeah, I think they ate all that food. That whole 50-pound bag of food's gone. You believe that? mean, I'm sure other stuff ate it too. Yeah, but mostly turkeys. Crazy, isn't it? No, here it is right here. It's right here. There's still some left. See it right here? That white, can you see that? There's still quite a bit left. They ate a lot though. Hey Lulu, how you doing? You see that on the right, like in that squiggly line? Can you see it? Can you see any of that? Yeah, hungry, and it was flooding and raining. They look skinny to me, but you know, that could be hilarious to someone that knew more about them. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, it's right there on the right in the middle of the brown. But a lot of it's gone, so that's good. How you doing? Good. Have a good day.
You too.
His wife just died. Yeah, sorry about that. Hi, hon. Hi, hon. We home, honey. We home. We home, hon. You home? Yeah. Come on. Well, thanks for riding along, you guys. I appreciate it. Oh, I don't blame you, little Lou. It's nice out here, yeah. Well, you guys have a good day today. I'm going to go take a nappy. I'll probably be on later tonight. Thank you. Have a good day. Daisy, you ready to go and go Betty? Sweepy? Go Betty? You ready to go Betty or chase some squirrels? Thanks a lot, you guys. See you later, little Lou. Yeah, thanks, Penny. Thank you. Have a good day, little Lou. That's a good idea. You don't want to be cold. It's miserable. Oh, yeah, you're welcome. All right, Tribbles. You have a good day. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later. Ready to go betting, honey? See you, Larry. Thanks. Bye, Lulu.